Hey everyone, today I'm coming to you from Dover, Delaware at the Air Mobility Command Museum. Join me and let's check it out. This plane is a VC-9C. It transported America's top leadership from 1975 until 2011. Much of that time it served as Air Force Two for Vice Presidents Walter Mondale, George H.W. Bush, Dan Quayle, Al Gore, and Dick Cheney. The Air Mobility Command Museum. Our debt to the future is to preserve the past. This display is a recreation of one of the first guard shacks constructed on Dover Army Air Force Base in World War II. This recreation depicts an airman assigned to the 436th Airlift Wing Aerial Port Squadron at Dover Air Force Base, where he has secured the cargo to the pallet with a nylon net. You can see him strapping it on there. This is a recreation of an air ambulance where they would airlift the wounded. Depicted here is a Dover Air Force Base C-17 that has just returned from a mission and is being air-marshaled onto its parking spot by a crew chief. This is a C-47 Turf and Sport Special. It was actually named after a racing magazine. You got some depiction of some soldiers right here inside the plane. Some more right there.
The Ryan March.
Oh wow.
I used to ride on the one. If you went to the 141, I've flown that for 7 years, the one way over in the corner.
Yeah, these metal ones, they don't look like they'd be comfortable to sit on for very long at all.
Well, D-Day, they only flew from England to France.
Yeah.
Across the English Channel, so they weren't in the air very long.
But how long of a flight would that be?
Probably a couple hours.
Oh, yeah, it wouldn't be too terribly bad. This is where the radio operator would sit. This is where the navigator would sit.
Back in the old days, they didn't have GPS. They used navigator with his charts, sextant, and they used how far they were going in one direction, wind drift. They used all different methods. Today, the GPS does.
Yeah, I can't imagine life before GPS. I mean, I was alive for part of it, but I wasn't, I was too young to really...
I started flying in '74. We had navigators aboard the C5.
Yeah.
Then we went to the inertial navigation system. They were 3 gyros, independent gyros. And you punch in where longitude, latitude, where you start at, and then wherever you punched in, gyro knows where it was, and it knows where it's going, and that's how we navigated. Now it's GPS.
Yeah. Well, thank you. Not aircraft, but still military. Got an M1A1 75mm Howitzer right here. Depiction of a soldier using it, firing it. It's got a bunch of shells on the ground. Got a airlift Vietnam War section here. Got a little soldier here having himself a little cup of coffee. Read a newspaper. It says Nixon visits GIs in Vietnam. Here is what the inside of a C5 Galaxy flight deck looks like. Here, this is a HH-43B Husky. Got a little dummy inside there in the cockpit.
This is a C141B, that's the 141A, it's the B, Star Lifter made by Lockheed. We started making this in the 60s. 60s all the way about till 2000 it was used. It was a great airplane in terms of reliability, service, dependability, and what it could do. You look at it, it looks pretty big, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Pretty big. I want you to remember this when you go on board the Galaxy. Remember this. Oh, this is big. Yeah, well.
Not as big as.
This can fit inside the Galaxy.
Yeah.
It's insane. But they're available, or if you have VIPs, you'll put these in here.
VIP.
There you go. There you go. Have a seat. Have a seat. Yeah, we put our seats in backwards in the Air Force.
Why is that?
Because if you're going to have a crash, get ready for the crash. You ready? You ready?
I'm
You
ready. I'm ready.
You're going to go this way.
Yeah.
You're going to go backwards. You're not going to go forwards.
Yeah.
It's a lot safer. When we put our grandkids and our kids put their kids in a car, like in the back seat, they put that carrier to the railway, didn't they? So we take care of our babies in the Air Force. We make sure they're nice and safe and sound.
Really. I want some milk, little boy.
Got the cockpit of this ship. The bed for the pilot. There's a C-130E Hercules. Welcome aboard.
What do you think? It's comfy and cozy, right?
Very.
Very noisy.
Ah.
Very noisy.
So how much does one cost?
Millions. I can't even tell you.
Yeah.
I can't even begin to tell you. Millions and millions and millions. Now, I was up in the control tower one day a couple years ago, and there was a Saudi Arabia Hercules parked right outside there, across the fence there. And they were loading it up feverishly. Whenever you see that scene where the good guy and the bad guy are fighting on the ramp of an airplane, and good guy's getting the crap kicked out of him, but somehow he gets his strength and he punches the bad guy, and out he goes. It's a Hercules.
Oh yeah.
It's a Hercules.
Yeah.
Whenever you see Tom Cruise and a bunch of other guys jumping out of an airplane,
Yep.
it's a Hercules. It's this guy. So you'll see it in a lot of airplane movies.
Get the parachutes.
The parachutes, they're running with the parachutes. Yes.
All right, I'm ready to go to war.
Yeah. What's it for up there?
Send me. Let's go.
And then if you look at the right side, whoever's on the right side is on the left side. Pilot, co-pilot, they all have the same controls.
Yeah.
So that makes it look more even complicated. But the large brown knobs, that's your engines. To the right of your propeller speed, your propeller pitch. And then outside I showed you when it's fully feathered, and that's that one closest on the far left there. Tiller of that little steering wheel with a little yellow suicide knob in the front left corner. See that little wheel? It's called a tiller. That's how you'd steer this airplane on the ground. Airliners still do that to this very day. They still use the tiller. Fire engines have a tiller in the back.
That one over to the left, you said?
Yeah, with the yellow knob.
Yeah, the
They call it
tiller.
a tiller. Yeah.
And how many of them would be up here at a time?
Well, pilot, co-pilot, flight engineer, and navigator.
And like they'd take turns sleeping, I guess, on this
Take
bed.
time sleeping, yeah, you can be refueled. There's your microwave, your refrigerator. You know about the honey pot.
Oh, where's the microwave and refrigerator?
Yeah,
They right here?
yeah, right here.
Oh, microwave and refrigerator down there.
So it's, could stay in the air days, you can be refueled in the air.
Yeah.
As you change temperatures and altitudes, the airplane pressurization has to be adjusted. He has to maintain all of that. Has an incredible job, and he's not an officer, he's enlisted.
Very cool.
Have a seat.
Man, that thing is huge.
This plane is the C-119 flying boxcar, and the guide was saying that this exact airplane was used in an episode in 1985 on MacGyver. The C5A Galaxy is what this massive plane is called.
It go up, you notice it? It kneels. It raises and lowers itself. You see the top, the there. The wheels steer. They all have the ability to steer. All four sets have the ability to steer. So when the ground is going to turn very nicely. I'm surprised how it's going to steer very nicely. So they all steer, raises and lowers. Remember we're inside that C-141 Starlifter? We thought that was big. What do you think?
A little bigger.
Big.
What do you think, right? I told you that 141 would fit inside of here, you can. This was the world's biggest airplane for many years, as I said earlier. It's our biggest airplane. Look at the ceiling. You can put things in here you couldn't put. The C5C version had room up there for the fin of the spaceship to stick up there and have the spaceship. You know, the thing about this is that you can think it, we can put it in here. So there's so many variety of things we put in here. Pallets. In the distance, you see a pallet? There's two rows you can put in here. The C-141 and one row. They roll on the wheels, they're part of the airplane. I wish I had done this that day. I wish we had an Howitzer and never seen this car. But I didn't think of this. I didn't think of this. 8 rows of them going across. They run the length of the airplane. And that's how you push pallets up and back. You load from the front and you load from the rear. Okay.
And this blue ladder right here, if it were to be lowered down, there's an upper level that has seating and bathrooms. And here are some pictures of what the upper level looks like. It has 73 seats, and it has 2 bathrooms up in the upper level here of this plane.
48 seconds, 7 weeks from the day of the first test, the feasibility of the Air Mobile ICD.
That's a pretty big airplane to be able, it would have to be, to carry all the stuff it carried. The guide was mentioning how the state of Delaware, from top to bottom, is 98 miles long. Well, check this out. This shows right here that one C5 contains 103 miles of electrical wire. So that's 5 miles more than the state of Delaware itself. 5 miles of control cable, 4 miles of hydraulic tubing. It can hold 6 full-size commercial buses and 7 completely assembled UH-1 Huey helicopters. The C5 can carry 2 M1A1 Abrams tanks, weighing 65 tons each, or 130,000 pounds. Cargo capacity of the C5 can carry 25,844,746 ping pong balls in the cargo department, and fuel load is 51,000 gallons.
Gentlemen, thank you for coming.
Thank you. Very cool museum here for the aircraft in Delaware. This is where they basically retire old planes and jets that basically the government has no more use for when they become old, and it just gets retired here to the museum. And most of them you view from the outside. They do have some with a guide. You can enter and see them from the inside. Very cool. Definitely a reason in and of itself to come to Delaware, you know, just to see the museum, and then just see some of the other sites here in Delaware. But just another very cool historic museum. Definitely recommend it. If you're looking for historical museums to visit or just enjoy traveling, definitely make the Air Mobility Command Museum part of your stop. Well, as always, I thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and on to the next. Peace.